Welcome back to This Day in Scottish History. I'm your host, Colin MacDonald. Today, we reflect on the remarkable life of Alfred Anderson, a man whose story bridges generations and reminds us of humanity's enduring hope for peace, even in the depths of war. On this day, November 21st, 2005, Scotland's oldest man and the last known survivor of the 1914 Christmas Truce, Alfred Anderson, passed away at the age of 109. Born in Dundee on June 25th, 1896, Alfred Anderson grew up in a working class family, the son of a joiner and one of six children. By the time he turned 16, he had joined the Territorial Force, a decision that would lead him into the heart of the Great War. In October 1914, young Alfred and his comrades in the 1/5th Battalion of the Black Watch were deployed to France. They thought it was the adventure of a lifetime, a chance to see new places and fight for king and country. Instead, they found themselves entrenched in the grim realities of the Western Front. But on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day of 1914, Anderson experienced a moment of profound humanity. Though his unit was billeted away from the front line, the silence of that morning left an indelible mark on him. In later years, he described the eerie quiet.
I remember the silence, the eerie sound of silence. Only the guards were on duty. We all went outside the farm buildings and just stood listening. And, of course, thinking of people back home. All I'd heard for 2 months in the trenches was the hissing, cracking and whining of bullets in flight, machine gun fire, and distant German voices. But there was a dead silence that morning, right across the land, as far as you could see.
The unofficial truce, marked by Christmas greetings shared across the trenches, was short-lived. By afternoon, the silence was broken and the horrors of war resumed. Anderson would always reflect on that fleeting moment of peace amid devastation as a poignant symbol of what could have been. In the years following the truce, Alfred's battalion faced heavy fighting, including battles at Neuve-Chapelle and Loos. He served as a batman, an assistant to his officers, a role that brought him into contact with notable figures like Captain Fergus Bowes-Lyon, the Queen Mother's brother, who tragically fell in the Battle of Loos. Alfred's own war nearly ended in 1916 when he was struck by shrapnel while on night patrol in no man's land. His wound, known as a Blighty wound, allowed him to recover in Britain. He eventually became an infantry instructor, rising to the rank of staff sergeant before the war's end. After the war, Alfred returned to civilian life, marrying Susanna Idison and continuing his work as a joiner in Scotland. He served in the Home Guard during World War II, ensuring that he did his bit once more for his country. Alfred's extraordinary life extended across 3 centuries, making him a living repository of history. He received France's Légion d'honneur in 1998, a recognition awarded to all surviving veterans who fought on French soil during the Great War. In 2003, his connection to the royal family was highlighted when Prince Charles visited him. This visit acknowledged his service as a batman to Captain Bowes-Lyon and underscored his unique place in history. Alfred Anderson's death in 2005 marked the passing of Scotland's last known World War I veteran. He was among the last living links to the 1914 Christmas Truce, a moment that continues to inspire and haunt us in equal measure. In an interview shortly before his death, Alfred reflected on that Christmas so long ago.
I'll give Christmas Day 1914 a brief thought, as I do every year, and I'll think about all my friends who never made it home. But it's too sad to think too much about it. Far too sad.
Alfred was survived by a large and loving family. 4 children, 10 grandchildren, 18 great-grandchildren, and 2 great-great-grandchildren. His story lives on, not just in the pages of history, but in the hearts of those who honour the sacrifices of his generation. As we look back on November 21st, 2005, we honour the life of a man who embodied the resilience, courage, and humanity that defined the best of his generation. From his humble beginnings in Dundee to the battlefields of France and his quiet years in Alith, Alfred Anderson's story reminds us of the profound cost of war and the enduring hope for peace. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Scotland's past. I'm Colin MacDonald, and this has been This Day in Scottish History. Haste ye back, and we'll see you tomorrow for another tale from Scotland's rich and storied past.